now we are going to move you back to some global challenges. We've done a research on tour operators, how they are represented in the social media, and my colleague Yevgenia Takanova, will tell you about it more. Let me check how the slides work. They work very well. Okay, this is our SMM block. So who gets those tourist agents in the social media? My name is Yevgenia, and within the next few minutes we will discuss what to do to find more tourists and how to choose tourist agents who really work for you. Here is a case of successful work of tourist operators in the social media. Recently, a new employee came to us to Profi.Travel, and I had to tell her about what this market is about, how it all works, and all of a sudden she tells me a great thing. So a Profi.Travel is a company that mines tourist agencies. And actually that was the essence of it, mining tourist agencies. So when I prepared this presentation, I understood that the social media is also about mining, because today Facebook, Odnoklassniki, Instagram, and ВКонтакте are the major channels to attract tourists, because this is what turns an ordinary visitor on your social media page into a tourist. So why do some communities bring tourists and others don't? This is the first date rule. Of course, it's obvious that the content on your web page should be appropriate. You should communicate properly with your audience. But some people have this. They have the likes, the reposts, the comments, and other subscribers are just silent and they have nothing. So why does it happen? It's all very simple. Some operators work according to the following model. For example, they have a kind of advertising. They write the following post. They write "attention" 3 exclamation marks, campaigns 3 exclamation marks, Montenegro. Then they take the first picture they find in Google and they share it everywhere, on Instagram, on Facebook, everywhere. It's all the same. And the users who communicate with each other on the social media, they are used to get content and they can actually behave as experts themselves. They can see that it's bad. And the smart algorithms of the social media can see all of that. And these messages just go down, they go to some kind of swamp where they will never be seen. So this is the bad model, the flush model. So the other model, which is much better, some people just choose the distribution channels, they choose photos. Well, maybe it's not from the photo bank. At least they think about this picture. This picture should be branded with a logo, with some corporate style. This person communicates with their audience, talks about the positive, removes the negative things and treats with it, and really loves his or her audience. This is what I call the beauty model. And this is a huge survey about how tourist operators are represented in the social media. We looked at what tourist operators do on their media, and we are ready to share some conclusions with you. Let's look at successful examples of communities of tourist operators on B2C. First, I'd like to turn your attention to Odnoklassniki, Coral Travel. That's a great story. The tourist operator has more than 160,000 subscribers, and they really love this tourist operator. It's just, for example, if they write, "Hi guys, how are you?" and there is 61 comment to this message, and we are really happy to see this number of views. But that's not the point. Everyone can do posts like "Hello, how are you?" But you need to have a habit to communicate. This is how you move forward. And this is what we have on Instagram. TUI Russia chooses the model according to which tourists will communicate in their comments. For example, this company says, what do we choose, Dominicana or Cuba? And others say, I'm going to choose Russia, and so on. And 504 likes. That's for Profi.Travel. To Russia asks us the following question. They ask us, what are we going to do? Go into some hot countries or ride a snowboard? And then there are a lot of comments.
An interesting group in Vkontakte, Natalie Tours. What we liked about it, well-branded, stylish, beautiful, and this tour operator has its own functionality available on this website. It's subscription for a mailing campaign. I got subscribed, so you cannot force your users to subscribe. And after they subscribe, they get information about promo campaigns, hot tours. I got only a couple of messages. Those messages were pretty brief and pretty straightforward, without any sort of crazy messages like this is what we've got for you, the best deal, and so on and so forth. Very up to the point. That was delightful. And another thing I wanted to draw your attention to, here is a mark saying that somebody is online who can attend to your request immediately. So that shows it's a good thing, you know, that they will respond to you immediately. Profi.Travel, another page in Vkontakte. This is something that helps to engage your audience. And they have nicely looking posts, which they post consistently. A couple of words about B2B communities, tour operator communities. Let's start with the Facebook first. Space Travel and TUI Russia. First and foremost, I would like to say that you are looking after these web pages and you don't let anyone be the member. Like, for example, I'm not an approved member in all of them. TUI, not only they have pre-moderation, but they also have, a tour operator needs to fill in a survey. So what is your what is the name of the travel agency? What is your experience in touring business? What's your name and where you are from? So they collect information about who is part of the community. In space travel, you have special aura in this. They love each other. Let's say they send a message. They send a message saying that the renewed design of their page, and they have a great number of responses like that's great, and then they say thank you. But there is a lot of value in it because it doesn't happen by default. On TUI page, they also communicate with customers in a very stylish way, with a bit of a good humor and so on. But there is a couple of things I would like to draw your attention to. A group member asks a question about the promo campaign, and the operator refers him to a web page with the details of that campaign. So what do we want? What's the point here? Don't convert your social media communities into referral pages. Social media communities are for communication, are for identifying yourself. Let's say, we are Profi.Travel, this is what we like, this is how we work, and we like TUI, that's how we work. And it is all defined by the style of your interaction with your customers. YouTube channel. I've seen a number of them, but I would like to say to say Profi.Travel. If you want to set up a YouTube channel, make sure there are playlists available there, like hotel reviews, because if a video clicks on your link and sees a heap of videos, he finds it difficult to navigate through. So Coral Travel Professional and Annex Profi Academy groups in Vkontakte. So cinema days. It is important to make sure that travel agents meet each other and they like you when you treat them as human beings. And this is what I want to show from Post Annex Tour. So no smileys, no exclamation marks, and quite a well-branded page. So love at the first scroll. It happens sometimes when you dig into a subject and then you find your love. So sometimes we gather together in the office, we look at the pages of Profi.Travel, and we really like it. So Club Med. When we stumbled upon these pages, we realized that these are digital savvy people, and it's not. This is not because they have a video on the opening page, but it's because every link which is in the menu means exactly what it is called. So photos are photos and videos are videos. And that's exactly what I meant before. There's very positive messages, and the two operator, they leverage on these messages. Like, for example, this post is just a picture with a comment that was posted by a previous user. And this post is a collection of pictures from a tourist. These pictures were made by the tourist. So the two operators not just saying, well, look, this is the response we've got. Here we have the name of the person who made these pictures and the name of the person who left that feedback. And there is, so every time you click on the post, it is tracked. So you click on the post, you get redirected to the travel operator's website, and then the website starts tracking user behavior on the website. And that's how you optimize it then. So, two operators in social media, very, very positive aura. So if you see that your posts are being commented on, respond to these comments. Because when a comment is left, that person actually hopes to get a response to this comment, no matter in some cases what that response is. So here, a travel tour operator is sending pictures as in the form of responses, and they answering questions without redirecting customers to their website. Like, for example, here the question is, I want to travel to a mountain resort, ski resort, but I have an ailing back. Tour operator is not redirecting her to the website. And they give a full response. Here is the village. This is where you can walk around. This is where you can hike. This is where you can ski. This is a spa. And so there will be something for you to do there. Also, Club Med, YouTube. They have playlists here, which is good. And now, I would like to invite our guest speakers, the guest speakers from Club Med, who will let us know about, who will present their case in front of us. So let's meet Valeria Zarudneva, marketing head for Club Med, and Alevtina Valuk, online communications manager from Club Med. So Club Med is one of the operators which is a digital savvy, and not only in social media area. Thank you very much. It is very delightful to see that we are Our efforts are appreciated by our colleagues in the travel business. Club Med is a French company, is a French tour operator, well known in the market. It's been around since 1950, and first and foremost, it's a French operator, which is known mostly in France and other countries in the world. They made their way to the Russian market only in 2014, so that was the year when the crisis unfolded, and that auto operator was not known to the market. So Club Med was well known in some small communities, and the timing of their coming into the market was not good. 2014 was a difficult year, and their brand awareness at that time was extremely low. So to me, my main task was to build the brand, and I had to build it from a scratch, in fact. And our French leadership wanted us to reach high brand awareness, wanted to see the increase in sales, and pretty quickly. And some hindsight for those people who may not know what Club Med is about. Club Med is an owner of resorts all over the world. We own 70 resorts, which are well represented on all 5 continents in 20 countries. And we are proud that in 1950 we came up with premium all-inclusive formula. And it was very well accepted in the tourist business, like all-inclusive became available for Egypt and for Turkey, and in our case, in the perception of the Russian tourist, all-inclusive means a heap of salad available at any time of the day. But what does all-inclusive mean in Club Med's perception? It's not just about good meals and unlimited beverages and drinks. Our 4 competitive advantages are these sports activities. So we focus on sports. So these activities are already part of our offer. So child care, mini clubs. Mini club is a name which was patented in 1956. So sports activities, child care, gourmet. French people are very picky in terms of food. And Club Med Spirit. So that includes entertainment and the location itself. So why am I focusing on this now? Because if you don't know this, then you don't actually quite understand what differentiates Club Med from everyone else. So these are our 4 competitive advantages. And this is what we try to translate to our communities so that they have a better understanding of the product. And that's what Club Med is about. So within these 3 years, we got some awards in the Russian market, and thank you for acknowledging the work that we have done. Thank you for acknowledging our efforts in social media. Generally, when you ask the number of questions to us to start with, you also said, is it about some sort of French practice? And it's not about French practice at all. These are international digital marketing practices, and digital communications are developing really quickly. And they are trans-border practices. You are either riding this digital way or you are falling behind completely. So we try to ride this wave, and our experience is not about travel products. We are not building a travel brand. We're building a lifestyle brand. Club Med, at all marketing directors, all Club Med marketing directors have experience of developing premium lifestyle brands. So this is the experience I brought into Club Med. It was about developing lifestyle consumer brands. We are not focusing on B2B market. We have a department which caters to the need of B2B market, but all our marketing practices are international consumer marketing practices. Yes, we have a global vision and we have strategy and we have guidelines which are generated by the head office, because Club Med is a global brand and it has a consistent system of communication. However, Russian market is specific. And among all the countries in Russia, we have the lowest brand awareness, and we're trying to fix it now. And it is impossible to reach the required brand awareness level only through using digital tools. So we have a combination of online and offline communication, and we keep using classic communication channel. In the global perspective, I would say we started to focus on digital. We are mindful of this digital drive, and we are getting guidelines accordingly from our head office. But we maintain the Club Med Russia page on our own, and our reach is about 1 million people a year. And the traffic is 100,000 a year, and engagement rate is 3.5%, which is quite good for premium brands. Oh, I almost failed to tell you anything. Okay, but briefly, premium audience, people with high income, for men and women from 40 to 60, and income. All our tools are income generated from 200,000 rubles per person in the family. This is how we segment our customer base. And in Russia, we can target top 1% of the general population out of 100. So out of 146 million people, only 1 million people have that kind of income. Half of them live in Moscow. This is why geo-targeting is the key to this advertising. So why Facebook? Because this audience is mainly on Facebook, based on their age profile, geolocation profile, and their income profile. This is why we maintain our presence mainly in Facebook. And now I would like to hand over to Alevtina so that she can tell you about our cases. So I think that's the key slide, the one that you wanted to see. What's important for us? What is our target when we work with the social media? There are two stereotypes. Social media communities is about posting pictures or about growing community. But this is not what our work is about. It is about getting new customers and increasing brand awareness. When it comes to brand awareness, it is about communicating with the audience. It's not about growing your community. You all know that in the best case, only 7% of your subscribers actually see your message, and after 11th of January, no one will see your message at all. So we are not talking about growing communities in general. This is not a target for us. So we are using Facebook as a communication tool. So whatever we post on Facebook, it's promoted. So integration of new formats. If you are looking for a wow effect, you need to surprise your audience. Pictures are not enough. So special videos, GIF pictures, these wow tools are needed. These wow tools are needed to surprise and engage your audience, to grab attention of your prospective customers. So looking for new groups, new audiences. Facebook, you can do this through looks, through likes, through marketing, through base and lookalike exercise, or integration with your partners, because that's your shop window. There you can show whatever you want to do, whatever you are doing now. And this is where you get UGC and stimulate UGC. Because if your customers are not talking about you in social media, that means that you're not stirring their emotions. They don't want to talk about you. Contests, engagement. Do whatever you want, but engage people. Make them want to tell about you to their friends. Any general director wants to see an increase in sales. They want customers who will come and buy your product. So we can't say no to increasing traffic, and we can't say no to collecting contact information. It's good to send a message to all the entire audience, but it is important to collect contact details so that you can educate your audience further. So that becomes key also. All further slides are just illustrations to how we achieve this and how we convert these tasks into tools. Let's say you need innovation formats. Out of innovation formats, Canvas is the most efficient one. Canvas is the best tool on mobile devices because you can put videos on, you can do whatever you like there, whatever you need. So Canvas can be used for any purpose of communicating with your audience. It's like a mini website. And so you click on the button and you drill down to a mini landing page. So let's say if your site is not tailored to, it does not have a mobile version, or your booking system is not there, to make sure that your audience remains with you, leave it in Canvas.
Targeting, lookalike, and different types of targeting. All those brands that I have shown to you have been completed within the past 3 to 6 months. So if you do everything I mentioned as a whole, then it will all work. No matter who your partner is, the tennis academy or someone else, this information should be on your website and on their website so that everyone sees this information. Tests and lotteries. Games work very well. It's expensive to make a game, so please look for some tools which will make it possible to do some tests or quizzes, for example. For example, there is this case which is called Atout France, and this is how a person could win a trip to a resort. And if you find a partner together with whom you do promotion, then your costs decrease by half, and your KPIs are even greater. Next slide, please. I'm sorry, you're out of time. It's very interesting, but unfortunately, we don't have any time at all. All right, then, I suggest no questions are asked. Thank you very much. People actually ask us for 20 minutes, for some minutes, to ask questions. So, guys, I suggest that we will ask those questions a bit later. And I'm grateful to my colleagues for helping us rise to these heights, because not everyone is thinking about whether brands will be remembered, what it is about, keeping the brand, how to measure this KPI. I believe that sometimes you hired an SMM expert, and you all know what it is, an SMM expert. Usually it's a person who can write some posts in Facebook, in Vkontakte, on the social media. There is a content plan, and then we use these posts, make them. For me, in SMM, there is also targeting advertising. I'm a targeting advertising guy. And there's also some very rare skill that an SMM expert should have. That is the possibility to really involve this community. And now I give the floor to Vlad Titov, who is a master of this. I would actually like to say hello, guys. It's great that we have such a big audience. And thank you, Dmitry. Unfortunately, he's already left, but he's told me everything. Because the basics of what I want to tell you is that you need to not only give information to people, well, it gives real results, but you also need to make them involved. So we are now going to speak about the building of loyal communities around your company, the community of B2Bs and B2Cs. And this is particularly important if you have some unique areas of destinations and if you really want to promote this destination on the market so that your agents get a lot of orders. Well, start with the scary part. It has been mentioned today that there's a lot of content on a lot of pages, and some content is really interesting. Sometimes content is boring, but sometimes there are more likes for the more boring content. And sometimes this content just becomes a cemetery of news. It only has, for example, you've wrote some very interesting content, you've written it, but there are only 2 likes and 2 shares, and no one saw it. So what's the problem? It turns out that there are 3 filters that stand in the way of your content. And it works in all the social media. The first filter is time. This is an objective filter. You can't write 1 million posts per day, maybe 1 or 2. And a person doesn't join your group. People just read the news, for example. And for example, if you wrote something in the morning, then in the evening people will not see this content. Of course, we are very cunning PR experts and marketing experts. We change the situation. We can see how many views we have and when we have most views at what time. But of course, a lot of people from our target audience overlap. So if we talk about the ordinary office guys, the most active time is before 10 o'clock, at lunchtime, and after 5 o'clock, when people are reluctant to work, some people go home. And then there's this silence on the social media. People just wish happy birthday to each other. And about 8 to 10 p.m., there's a lot of publications which are not viewed. The second filter is the most tragic one. This is called the death of the organic coverage. You probably know that it's not 100% of your subscribers who get your excellent and very valuable posts in their news. And it might be posts with questions, with contests, and so on. For example, if you have 100 subscribers, not some bots from Turkey, even though there are nice people in Turkey. But if you work for Muscovites, you'd like to get Muscovites as your target audience. So it turns out that, according to statistics, as of the end of 2017 and early 2018, the percentage of organic coverage is just about 15 to 20%. That means that out of 100 subscribers, only 15, maybe 20 subscribers can see them, because no one really goes on our page. Odnoklassniki and mail.ru are in the same holding. And what do you think about the percentage on Facebook? Let's check your memory, because this figure has been mentioned. 8. It was a long time ago. 2%. That's what we had at the end of 2018. And even though some people tell me we have a greater organic coverage on the page, but how many subscribers do you have? 300. So if it's not 500 or 1,000 subscribers, Facebook gives you a little bit more views so that you can feel it. But as soon as you are more than 500 or 1,000, then you go down very quickly to 2%. You just write for yourselves. Unless you do something else, and we are going to talk about it now. On Instagram, this number falls as well. Right now it's about 12 to 15%, but there are fluctuations. When Facebook added Instagram to its advertising office, it became almost the same situation as on Facebook. Which social media has the maximum coverage? What do you think? Exactly, almost 65 to 70%. But it's a bit more difficult there because there are limitations on communities, and it's not clear how to promote our products. So this is what our colleagues from Club Med showed to us. This is about limited lively communication. That's about Telegram. The coverage is great on Telegram. And besides, we have friends on our social media. And initially, we come to the social media to chat with our friends. Some people just use Facebook as Outlook. They keep discussing things with each other. So when I look at my own Facebook page, I look at avatars. Even if I can see an excellent post from you and a photo of my friend who was at a wedding, of course I go to see my friend's post, and there is no your post when I come back. So the death of the organics is terrible. We can't expect to see any free of charge promotion. And Mr. Zuckerberg said the following thing. Not everyone heard what he said, but everyone said that it was scary. He said that your content will be covered even less by the media. He said that it's not important what you write. The important thing is that people see what their family wrote and personal friends as well. Furthermore, there's a loophole. Interest groups. If people are on the interest groups and there is relevant content, then this post will be seen as well. Furthermore, on Facebook, it's not likes or shares, but comments that are the most important. This is a confirmation that there is some communication going on. So for Coral and Club Med, where there are comments, those posts will actually go to the page of the member. So how do we fight this? And it's not only about Facebook, it's about the social media. 2% coverage is tragic, and 15% on Kontakte is not cool either. So one thing that we can do is personal profiles. But it's not a tool for everyone. If you are a super tourist expert and you are going to advance further in that, or if you want to promote someone else, then your partner can announce and promote this information. And initially, there will be more attention to this. Some people use it. For some people, it's not relevant. It's not part of their marketing strategy. The advertising budget. Actually, there's no way back, because right now people talk not about just sending a lot of posts to people. It's pointless now. You just write for yourself. It's better to do one post per day, maybe two posts per day, but add some budgets to make sure that at least some people can see it, particularly if you expect it to be viral. Some context or survey and so on. Of course, you always promote the advertising posts, but the communication posts are also to be promoted. And right now, I'm happy because I keep telling people that some clubs should be created. And other people say it's nonsense. We have organic coverage. But right now, Zuckerberg has killed this organic coverage. And people are thinking about how to involve the audience. And it turns out that along with the news feed or an interesting content feed and an active club, there's a huge distance between the two. Just take some kind of study. For example, you have a page where the engagement rate is about 3%. Just write something there. You can see that whether there will be growth there or not. So it turns out that you have to engage your audience so that they start discussions, communications. If it's B2B audience, then you should get them engaged in some of your events. And you'll ask me, Vlad, but what should we do? How do we write our page? You have two major issues, two mistakes that you make again and again. Number one, most of the content is about yourself. There are too many exclamation marks there, too much love of yourself. But you can see very quickly that when you start focusing not on yourself, but on your customers, if it's B2B audience, it should be them. If it's B2C, it should be them. When you publish genuine stories, when you focus on your consumers, this gives them much more reasons to speak, to discuss things. And do you know why it is cool? It's about more emotional connection with you. Because right now, marketing is focused on that. And there are the buzzwords like customer journey and so on. But there are other important things. That is, each comment like this goes to your friends on the news feed of your friends. And when your friends made a comment on this, then it becomes viral. If it's not a negative comment saying that it's very bad, if it's positive, it confirms that it's interesting to communicate with your company. And of course, you should analyze your audience. You should understand their real interests. Okay, people just had a journey, but what are their real hobbies? And there's catastrophe number two. You are working according to the model, you place some content, and you are waiting for them. Of course, if people ask you questions, you will answer them. But for some reason, no one asks you about anything. There's complete silence. And it's in any industry, in the banking industry, and so on and so forth. People asked money what they spent their money on. They asked some stars. But now let's change the focus. We've placed some content of medium-sized interest, and we ask the participants of the community. We ask Tatiana and Roman, what did you spend your first money on? And it turns out that it's interesting for them to answer, to share their opinions. And some people ask, it was a long time ago, I bought some chewing gum. The person likes this, and it's something that both of you like. And they remember sharing this emotion. The major tools of loyalty are attention and recognition. The more attention you pay to them, the more attention you get in respect, in response. And I say that Dale Carnegie's book about having a lot of friends is the best book on the social media. And the most important things are written there, even though Dale Carnegie wrote those books before the apparition of the social media. And so when your attention is sincere, it can be converted into more customers. This is what we can really call a customer-oriented model. And then we can develop those dialogues a lot of time. Of course, content should not be bad. But if you talk with someone, just get them involved. They were silent because you didn't ask them anything. But if we move on from one thing to the other thing, for example, if we talk not about posting and moderation, but about something else, then we need to understand that we need to create a community, and we need to plan what we are going to do within those communities, and a specific plan should be established. And this is what we have as a result.
So people are used to asking questions in social media. Well, guys, let me know where can I get this done. I think Evgenia from that company can do absolutely anything, but I've never used that services. So we can pre-tune the customer for loyalty, because customer can become loyal only after the first purchase. So you give him bonuses, points, scores, but you can fine-tune your customer to be loyal. See, here is the guy who is not a customer, but he's advertising these services. So an algorithm, how can we get from a wall to an active community? Integration in achieving targets. It's not about entertainment. It's about clear understanding of what we want to do. We take the customer journey and we take the potential customer and the actual customer. In one case, the customer needs experience of opinion leaders and his friends to make a choice. But another thing, customer experience is not just about thank you for an excellent holiday. In some cases, that looks artificial. Let's say, that doesn't look nice. Just a selfie from a resort is a good result. A positive comment about you is a good result, confirming that you're a good company. Different photos, happy faces. Then next stage, it is very important. It's very important to confirm that the choice is right, because once you make a payment, you start thinking probably there were other better options, and friends do not help here. They say there are better options. You need to create these points of contact, the points of concentration, and you need to get them mixed properly together. It is important to put the customer in the comfort zone. Look for things which will grab customers' attention. Let's say, why would you want to go to the travel agency webpage on a daily basis? You will go there only once a year when you're booking a tour. So this is a lot easier for the companies who have some emotional load. Like, for example, this page, it's about Greece. You travel there once and then you dream about going there again. So this is a web page of a company which is devoted to a particular country or particular activity, like, for example, fishing in the Lake Baikal. So you need, if you're offering a number of tours to a number of destinations, you need to look for some idea which will unite these travels. So we all form a good professional community, and take a look. We are really active here. And it's not so much about consuming content. It is more about asking questions and getting answers in response. So we are creating lateral ties here. For example, a community of those who like to travel to Europe. So study your target audience. Study what these people are interested in. And the final thing, do you think that I mean that we shouldn't support our pages? We should. But let's say we have a company which is offering a range of tours to a range of destinations, but nothing of particular interest, and it's very competitive business. So you do need a web page so that customers can find you and ask a question. But at the same time, you need to build communities of interest. Let's say, for example, your beach resort activity is very well developed. So you set up a club. Here I am on the beach, and you provide content to the members so that they can plan their further trips. If you have bus tours, then build a community of bus travelers. Another point of concentration is a community manager. Once you raise your hand and you say, I'm from this company, you will get an avalanche of questions. I think I've run out of time already, so I will not be delaying you any longer. There were 3 more useful components which I have yet to mention. Like active community leader. You cannot have a community without a leader. It's activities in the community. That's what Mr. Perumov mentioned. B2B, B2C, there should be some events in these communities. And active engagement. Apart from inviting people in your comments, there are other ways to do this. And the final thing I want to mention here, there's quite a number of slides here, so probably we can go through them later. But in the end of January, oh, there we go. In the end of January, there was a book called Community Management. That book was released in Russian. So if you are interested in understanding how you go from a dull wall or a dull web page to an active community, this is something that you want to read. This is the first time it was published in Russian. Thank you very much.